Hello everyone, my name is Somnath SM. My dear students, today let us discuss about IP address in computer. I have already covered two important videos related to computer. If you want, just go through the playlist just I have made. And before that, I request everyone please subscribe my YouTube channel and hit on the bell icon so that you never miss an update. My dear students, today's topic is very important and it is quite confusing also. But today I am very confident, I am pretty sure that I will clear all the doubts that commonly raise related to IP address. My dear students, let's begin now. So IP address means what? Why it is very important? Everybody know address, home address, city address, village address. In the same way, there is a particular address we use in computer. So before IP address, what is the meaning of IP? Let's have the glance on that particular topic. IP. What is IP? My dear students, Internet Protocol. IP is nothing but Internet Protocol. Protocol means rules. We should follow some rules. We know everyone. So in the same way, in computer area, IP is nothing but Internet Protocol, which is a set of rules used to identify and communicate between devices on a network. If we want to identify a device, if we want to communicate between devices, there is a set of rules are there. These set of rules which help us to identify a device, to communicate between devices on a network, they are called, that set of rules is called Internet Protocol. Okay, in simple words, if we want to glance about this, IP, that is Internet Protocol, helps computers send and receive data using unique addresses. So Internet Protocol helps what? It helps us to receive data, it helps us to send data using some unique addresses. That is the main use of IP, that is Internet Protocol. Let's move to the next slide. How IP works. Now question arises here. Okay, we already know about the meaning of IP, Internet Protocol, what is the duty of this one, but how it works, in which way it works, let us see now. So what it does, device sends data with source and destination IP. So any device which sends what? Data. Okay, with source from a particular source and destination IP. So it helps us. So here routers is the main gate which helps us to send data. So what is router here? A router is a network device that connects different networks. So router does what here? Which connect different networks and forwards data packets between them. So here router is the main center which helps us to send data between networks, which helps us to send data in forward direction. Okay, which read IP addresses during that time. So data travels across networks, reaches the correct destination because of IP, that is Internet Protocol. So functions of IP. What is the function of Internet Protocol? So I already said it helps us to identify device. It helps us to develop communication. Okay, routes data packets. It helps us to find routes data packets. It ensures correct delivery, whether data has been delivered or not. That clarification we will get because of this IP, that is Internet Protocol. So advantages of Internet Protocol. What are the advantages? Standard communication system. We develop standard communication system. Works worldwide. Internet Protocol, it works worldwide. It doesn't stick a particular region. Supports large networks. Internet Protocol helps specifically in large networks time. IP address. Now we have so far learned about what is IP, that is Internet Protocol. Now let's move on to the next phrase, that is IP address means what in computer. So already we are getting some little bit information from that particular word, that is address. Am I right? We know very well address means what? Then what is the meaning of IP address in computer? Let us see now. An IP address, that is Internet Protocol Address in full form, is a unique number. You see, IP address is a unique number. It is a number assigned to every device. Every device has unique number, that is IP address, connected to a network like the internet. Okay, so IP address is what? It is just simply a unique number given to every device. Those devices are connected to network, that is, for example, internet. Okay, so IP address helps to identify and locate a device, just like a home address helps to find a house. When we want to find any house in a big city, we need home address, we need house address. Based on that address only we can identify a particular place. In the same way, in computer area, if we want to identify a device, if we want to locate a device, we need a particular address, that is called internet protocol address, and which is shown in the form of number. Remember, IP address always in the form of number. Okay, so let's move now. So IP address means, already we have clear idea about this. I think all my dear students have understand clearly about IP means what, IP address means what. Now let's focus on types of IP address. So my dear students, there are two types of IP addresses. Number one, IPv4, that is Internet Protocol version 4. Next type of IP address is IPv6, that is Internet Protocol version 6. We remember these two types of IP address, very important for competitive examinations. Let's move on to the first type of internet protocol, that is IPv4, that is in full form we can say Internet Protocol version 4. So what is this all about? IPv4 is most commonly used. It is used by all the operators very commonly. It is very common. IPv4 is the very common IP address, written in phone numbers separated by dots. My dear students, it's very important. IPv4 written in phone numbers, written in how many groups? 4 groups, 4 numbers, and these 4 numbers separated by dot. Remember. Okay, so each number ranges from 0 to 255. So always remember, IP address, the lowest number, that is it begins from 0 and it ends to 55. We don't cross the limit of 255. If more than 255 if we see in IP address, then that is not an proper IP address, that's a wrong IP address, we should say. So number ranges from minimum 0 to maximum 255 and written in 4 numbers separated by dots. Example, you see 192.168.1.1. So how many groups numbers are there? How many numbers here? 192, one set of number, 168 second set of number, 1 is third number, only one number, and dot 1 last one. So totally 4 numbers group is there, and they are separated by dot. One more example, 8.8.8.8. So this is also IP address and they are separated by dot, and 8888, these are used commonly in Google DNS. Okay, so I think all my dear students have understand how do we write IP address. And 8.8.8.8, this is commonly used in Google DNS. What is Google DNS then? My dear students, Google DNS is nothing but, here I have collected more information about DNS. Google Public DNS is a free, fast and secure alternative domain name system. So Google Public DNS is what? DNS is nothing but domain name system, and it is a free system, and it is a fast and secure alternative domain name system. DNS is what? Google Public DNS is a free, fast and secure alternative domain name system. Resolver, it is a resolver aiming to speed up web browsing. When we want to speed up web browsing, we use this one, that is Google Public DNS, and improve security for users globally. So security also very high here when we use Google Public DNS, that is 8.8.8.8, that one. By changing your network setting to use IP addresses, that is 8.8.8.8 and 8.8.4.4, your device bypasses your ISP's DNS, often resulting in faster, more reliable and secure site access. So when we use Google Public DNS, we'll get safety, it will become network become very fast, and it is a secure one. So domain name system means what here? Let us know about DNS also. Domain name system means what here? So the primary function of the domain name system DNS is to translate human readable domain names, example www.example.com, into computer readable numerical, that is IP addresses, example 192.0.2.1. My dear students, domain name system DNS, what is the function of DNS? Just a simple function, just it translate human readable domain names into computer readable numericals. For example, www.example.com, it is human readable, but computer doesn't read this www.example.com. So if computer readable, what we have to do, if we want to change it into computer readable numerical, so we have to write in the form of numbers, that is we have to change into computer readable numericals, that is IP address, for example 192.0.2.1. so when we change human readable domain name into computer readable numericals, that is called, that is the function of domain name system. I think all students understand. Allowing users to access websites without remembering complex numerical address. Here for us, there is no need to remember all these IP address numbers. Okay, it acts as the phone book or of the internet. We have phone book in the internet, so it acts like that. So DNS is just, what is the function of this? It changes human readable domain name into computer readable numericals. So now format rules of IPv4. So here format rules of IPv4. IPv4, that is, it is a type of IP address. How the format is? So let us see. IPv4, it consists of 4 octets. How many octets it contain? 4 octets. Octets is nothing but 8 bits. 8 bits group. It consists of 4 octets. Each octet ranges from 0 to 255. We should remember, I already said each octet ranges from minimum 0, maximum 255. I already said separated by dots. So IP address separated by dot, specifically IPv4 separated by dot. No spaces allowed. When we write IPv4 address, we don't put any space between number. For example, which is correct, which is wrong, here as given 192.168.1.1. It is correct, there is no space between them, so this is correct. Incorrect is what? 300.168.1.1. this is totally incorrect. Why? Because we don't exceed 255, more than 255 we don't exceed. Okay, that is why 300 is not allowed here. So IPv4, Internet Protocol version 4, what type of address is this? What type of address is this? That is a question. An IPv4 address is a logical address. It is a logical address used to uniquely identify a device. In order to identify a device, we use IPv4 address. So key points related to IPv4 address. It is a 32-bit address. So I already said in one set there are 4 number set. In one number set 8 bits. So 4 number set means what? 8 4s are 32. So overall 8 bits in one number. There are 4 numbers set in IP address IPv4. So in one number 8 bits. So 8 into 4. So how many bits totally? 32 bits. So in IPv4 32 bits are there. So it is a 32-bit address written in decimal format. So we should remember, we write IPv4 in decimal. You see 192 is in decimal form, 168 is in decimal form. So we should write IPv4 address in decimal format. Okay, that is important. So IPv4 address divided into 4 parts. Okay, it divided into four parts, that is four octets. In one part, one octet, two part, two octet, four parts, four octet. Octet means 8 bits. So 8 fours are 32. So I think we have, my dear students, have cleared their doubts. Each octet ranges from 0 to 255, already said. So example 192.168.1.1. So this is the structure. Type classification of IPv4 address. In IPv4 address, there are parts in particular IPv4 address. Types are there. Types classification of IPv4 address. So what are the classification? So number one is logical address. Okay, in IPv4 there are types are there, classifications are there. Number one is logical address. So assigned by software, not hardware, can be changed. So logical address is assigned by software, not hardware. It can be changed. That is very, very important. Second one is network layer address. This is also very important. Works at the network layer of networking, that is OSI model. The OSI model means what? Here it is important. The OSI model is a conceptual framework used to understand how data is transferred over a network. Okay, helps in routing data across networks. Routing is the process of selecting the best path for data to travel from a source device to a destination device across networks. So second type of IPv4 address is network layer address. So network layer address, what is the function? It works at the network layer of networking. That is very important, we should remember. And third type of IPv4 address is unique identifier. So what it does, it identifies each device on a network. It identifies each device on a network. Next, simple explanation. IPv4 address is equal to, which contains what? First, logical address plus network layer address used to identify a device. Okay, so IPv4 address contains these components: logical plus network layer addresses used to identify a device. So example breakdown. Let us break down through the example. You see 192.168.1.1. Here 192 is what? Network part. 168 is what? Network part. One is what? Subnet. And last one is what? Host. We call it host. Host is nothing but our device. Okay, so in this way, an IPv4 address is a 32-bit logical address used to uniquely identify a device on a networks. I think no doubt related to IPv4 address. So IPv4 address Internet Protocol version 4 structure, how the structure is there. I already said, but once again, I'm explaining in detail form. You see, an IPv4 address is 32 bits long. It contains 32 bits long, divided into how many octets? 4 octets. So octet is nothing but 8 bits each. So let us see. 192.168.1.1, we have written this in decimal. When we write the same in binary, what happened? Let us say 192 in binary, what happened? 1 how many 0? 1 2 3 4 5 6 0. So 168 in binary, 10 10 1000. 1 in binary, the binary in 1 is 0 0. So when we convert decimal into binary, we will get this result. Let us count how many bits are there in each part. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 8 bits in each set of number. So 4 numbers, 4 octets are there. So in each octet 8 bits, so totally 32 bits. I think all my dear students have cleared their doubt. When we write in decimal, it is in the form of 192.168.1.1. When we write in binary, we write in the following way at the bottom, as you see easily. So two main parts of IPv4. So in IPv4 address, in that particular address, there are two parts are there. In IPv4 address, how many parts are there? Two parts are there. First one is network part, second one is host part, we remember. So what is network part? Network part is nothing but it identifies the network. It helps us to find out the network. Same for all devices in the same network. It is same. Network part is same for all devices. Okay, in the same network. But then what is host part? Host part identifies the specific device. So when we want to find out specific device, in that time host part is important. When we want to identify all the devices, then network part is important. So in every IPv4 address, there are two parts. One is network part and another one is host part. Okay. So different for each device. Host part is different for each device, but network part is same for all devices. Let us understand through one example. You see, example 192.168.1.1. Here, what is network part? 192 point sorry dot 168.1. This is network part. Which is host part? The last one is the host part, remember always. So in four number set, in four octets, first three are comes under network part and the last one comes under host part. So representation format, you see, I already said about this decimal common form. We use in IP address commonly decimal form only, that is in this way 192.168.1.1. when we write the same IP address in binary form, it looks in this way, double one, zeros are there, 6 times 0. In this way the same thing is there, but in decimal in binary form, so we write in different structure. So IPv4 address classes are in this way: class, range, network bits, and host bits. So classes are in this way: A, B, C, D, E. Range are in this way: in A class 1 to 126, in B class 128 to 191, in C class 192 to 223, in D class 224 to 239, in E class 242 to 255. These are the ranges based on different classes. Network bits: in A class 8 bits, in B class 16 bits, in C class 24 bits, in D class multicast, in E class experimental. And when we are talking about host bits, I already said what is the meaning of host. In A class 24 host bits, in B class 16 host bits, in C class 8 host bits. So this is how IPv4 address classes related notes. This one I think all my dear students have understand. So next topic is very very important here, that is subnet mask. Here one word comes that is very very important when I am explaining related to IPv4 address. One word is very common here, that is subnet mask. What is subnet mask? You see, used to separate network and host parts. I already said in IPv4 address there are two parts. One is network part and another one is host part. When we want to separate network part and host part, we need subnet mask. What we need? Subnet mask. When we want to separate network part and host part, we should need what? Subnet mask. For example, 192.168.1.1. Here we use a particular number for subnet mask. What is that number? 255 we have to use. So 192, in place of that I have written 255. 168, in place of that I have written 255. Dot 1, in place of that I have written 255, and last part, that is 1, in that place, that is host part. For host part we have to use 0 number. For network part we have to use 255 number. This is subnet mask. This is what? Subnet mask. In subnet mask means we use this to separate network and host parts. For network we use 255 a number. For host part we use 0. So here in this way, 192 place I have written 255, 168 place I have written 255, in one place I have written 255, and last one, that is host part, for that I have used 0. Okay, so first three octets, that is network part, and last octet is host part. I think all my dear students have understand about subnet mask means what. In simple definition, finally, before concluding IPv4, what is the meaning of that? IPv4 structure consists of a 32-bit address divided into 4 8-bit octets representing network and host parts. I already said. So there are 4 octets are there. In each octet 8 bits are there. Totally 32 bits are there. And it has 2 parts. One is the network part and another one is host part. So 4 parts is equal to 4 octets is equal to 32 bits. This is the shortcut way to remember IPv4 address. Now let us move to the next type of IP address, that is IPv6 Internet Protocol version. This is the new version, my dear students, and it is written in hexadecimal. IPv4, in that address we have used what? Octet, that is 8 bits. but here we use hexadecimal. Everybody know hexadecimal, 16 bits. So written in hexadecimal, which hexadecimal is nothing but which includes number also plus letters also. 0 to 9 we use number. After 9 we have to use letter. For 10 we have to use A. For 11 we have to use B, in this way. So hexadecimal includes numbers also plus letters also. And IPv6 is longer and more powerful comparing to IPv4. It is very longer and more powerful. Example of IPv6 here, you see this is the example 2001 colon 0db8 colon. So this IPv6, it has 8 groups. You see, let us see here. First 2001 colon ODB8 second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So IPv6 address contains 8 groups. Let us know in detail about this. So what type of address is this? This is an IPv6, that is Internet Protocol version 6. It is version 6 address. IPv6 is the modern version. This is the latest version. This is the new version of IP addressing. It has 128 bits. We already know in IPv4 how many bits? 32 bits. But here how many bits? 128 bits. How many groups? 8 groups. In one group 16. In one group 16. How many groups? 8 groups. In one group 16 means totally how many bits it becomes? It becomes 128 bits, much larger than IPv4. In IPv4 only 32 bits, but here 128 bits. And it is written in hexadecimal format. We know hexadecimal is nothing but 0 to 9 we have to use number. After 9 we have to use letter in place of number. That is from 10 means A, 11 means B, in this way up to F, A to F. So here a clear picture about IPv6. So IPv6 address is divided into, I already said, 8 groups. That is, it is called hextets. That is, in one group 16 bits, each containing 4 hexadecimal digits separated by colons. So here in IPv4 we separated by dots, but in IPv6 we separate groups by colon, not by dot. So here is the address. So how many columns here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. So how many groups here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 groups. In each group hextas means 16 bits. So totally how many bits? 16 into 8. How many? 128 bits. Now let us know IPv6 address each part. What are the parts in this? So first part is called network prefix. So what is the first part? You see 2001 colon ODB8 colon 85A3. This is the first part. So first part contains 3 groups. What is the first part's function? Network prefix we call. It identifies the network. Similar to area code in a phone number. We know area code in phone number. In that way, this is the network. This is network prefix. So we already know what is an area code. An area code is a part of a phone number that identifies a specific geographical region, city or service area. So through that area code we can understand our location, our area. So in the same way here network prefix, which includes 3 groups, which identifies the network. Okay, so this 2001 colon ODB8 is often used for documentation or examples, not real internet use. We use this one mainly for documentation. Now the middle part, second part is called middle part, which contains 2 groups, and it is called subnet information. Example here 4 times 0 colon 4 times 0 represents subnetwork. It is a subnetwork, and the first one is network prefix. It is the main network. So it helps divide large networks into smaller networks. When the network is very large, this part, middle part, divides large network into smaller parts. And the third one is last part, which is called interface ID, which contains three groups, identifies a specific device. It helps us to identify the host, as we see in IPv4 address. So this is the specific, it helps us to identify specific device that is called host, like a house number or in a street. So in this way, IPv6 has three parts: first part, middle part, last part. First part, three groups; second part, two groups; third part, so three groups. Okay, so this is how different parts are there in IPv6. So next, shortening the address. Sometimes what we do, IPv6 address we shorten. How do we shorten? We shorten in this way. First, remove leading zeros. We have to remove leading zeros. Step 2, replace consecutive zeros with. So when we want to write IPv6 address in short form, we have to remove zeros. We have to remove zeros. In place of zero, we have to use what? That is colon, 2 times colon. For example, let us see here, 2002.001 colon DB8 colon 85A3, and after that, in place of 0 we have used here, so we have to remove 0, and in place of that we have to use colon 2 times. So you can see in this slide very clearly. So this is the way how we have to write IPv6 address in short form. So next, rules for shortening. In order to write shortly, what rules we have to follow? First of all, we should use this symbol, that is colon, in 2 times. Only once we have to use, we don't use repeatedly in an address. Leading zeros can always be removed. We should remove always leading zeros. And key features of this address. What is the feature of IPv6? We know already it has 128-bit length, and the format is hexadecimal, and it is used in modern internet communication. Simple exam definition, we can say this is a 128-bit IPv6 address written in hexadecimal, divided into 8 groups, used to uniquely identify a device on a network. So easy analogy, there are 3 parts in IPv6 address, that is first part, middle part, last part. First part is just like a country address, for example. Middle part is just like a street address. Last part is just like our house address, main number. So in this way we can remember IPv6 address in the form of by dividing in 3 parts: first part, middle part, last part. First part is just like a country address, second part is just like a street address, last part is just like our own address, our home address or our home number. So next one is, so far we have discussed IPv4, IPv6 addresses in detail, and what is the meaning of IP, internet protocol, also that also we discussed. Finally, there is a question comes here, what is the use of IP address then? Why do we use this IP address? IP address helps us to identify device on a network. When we want to identify device, IP address is very necessary. It helps us to send data and receive data, and we use this in browsing websites. It supports communication between computers. When we want to develop communication between computers, we need IP address. So types of IP addresses are there based on usage. So one is public IP address, second one is private IP address, third one is static IP address, fourth one is dynamic IP address. So what is public IP address? We use public IP address on the internet, provided by internet service provider. This public IP address is provided by whom? ISP, that is internet service provider. An example of public IP address is 8.8.8.8. Next one is private IP address. We use private IP address in local networks. We use in local networks, not in internet area. We use in local network. We use private IP address like home or school. Example 192.168.0.1. And one more example, 10.0.0.1. These are the example of private IP address. We don't get confused. We should remember how public IP address looks like and how private IP address looks like. We should remember. Third type of IP address is static IP address. So static IP address, as the name itself suggests, it is fixed IP address, does not change, used for servers. We use static IP address for servers. For example, a website server always uses same IP address. So static means there is no change. So we use static IP address where? In website server, which use always static IP address. So fourth one is dynamic IP address. As the name itself suggests, this IP address changes automatically, assigned by DHCP. Okay, it is assigned by whom? DHCP. DHCP means dynamic host configuration protocol. Example, your mobile internet IP. So our mobile internet IP is dynamic IP address. Our mobile internet IP is there, that comes under dynamic IP address. It changes automatically. Okay. Now here the question, what is DHCP then? DHCP is a dynamic host configuration protocol. It automatically assigns IP addresses and network setting to device, allowing them to communicate on a network without manual configuration. There is no need of manual configuration. It prevents IP conflicts. It helps us to remove IP conflicts and manages a pool of addresses, acting as a central server, often a router at home, to streamline network connectivity. So main help of DHCP, that is dynamic host configuration protocol, is that it helps us in setting a network. It helps us automatically assign IP address and network setting to devices, allowing them to communicate on a network without any manual configuration, and it helps us to prevent IP conflicts. That is the main help of DHCP. Now, this is how today we have discussed about IP means what, internet protocol, and we have discussed about types of IP. We discussed about IP address, then we discussed about types of IP address, IPv4, IPv6, and we studied already about the structure of IPv4, IPv6. So totally, that is why today I have taken a very long time to cover this one, because I have covered every points which are needed in this particular topic, that is IP and IP address. I hope all my dear students have enjoyed my class. I request everyone, at least you watch this video 2 times, then only you are able to remember this concept, because these are really complex topics, and it needs a lot of time. And I request everyone, please watch the full video, then only you can remember the meaning of IP and IP address means what and its types. And we have to practice by writing again and again, then only we can able to write IP address properly. Thank you one and all, and I request everyone, please subscribe my YouTube channel and hit on the bell icon. Thank you.